Alright, hey guys, I just wanted to come on the channel and kind of give a little brief update about my life and kind of just talk about education and career paths. Really something that I very much have been always focused on as well. Just something I kind of wanted to express on the channel because I feel like a lot of us face this. I am filming from my new apartment living room, so I'm really excited about how it's coming together. I am missing Paloma, but really excited that this is a new journey. So let's dive right into education. So I want to start off by giving a little backstory. I always knew that education was important. However, it was never something that was, you have to do this, you have to do this. I am a first generation college student, so actually my parents, well, my mother has a high school diploma and my dad never had any really formal education. So I always knew that definitely it was something that I wanted to pursue, but it was never something that, you had tutors, you had, going to SAT prep, things like that. I really had to focus on that because I played sports. Well, I did cheer, which meant I needed to have good grades and I wanted to excel in anything that I did. So I took AP courses, I took the honors courses because I knew that that would look good for college. My mom always wanted me to get good grades, but it was never something that was, oh, if you get, an A, you get, an extra bonus in your allowance, things like that. So I really had to focus on me and pushing myself from within. Let's transition into college. So I actually applied to 4 state schools. I applied to Sonoma, San Jose State, Chico, and then Fresno. And then I also applied to UC Santa Cruz and then as well Boston University. So fun fact about me, I actually really wanted to go to Boston University. That was like my dream school because in 8th grade we did the whole DC, Washington, Boston trip, and I don't know why, but I loved Boston. Boston was so beautiful and I just felt like I belonged there. So I really wanted to go there. I got into all those schools, however, I got waitlisted to Boston. And at that time, it really just didn't seem like the correct path just to go away to college. I grew up in an area where it mattered where you went to school. I grew up in Willow Glen, so it was very odd if you did go to a community college. And, I was worried about what other people might think about it. But at the end of the day, I decided to do Mission College because they were the only community college that offered a political science AA with a guarantee. So I ended up going to Mission and I absolutely loved it. I also realized that I was not ready to leave home yet, and I'm so thankful that I didn't. I got to stay with my Nana and really get some of those years that she still had in her. She's currently facing very much dementia craziness right now, and she's not really herself, so I'm glad that I did stay and get extra time with her now looking back on it. But also too, I ended up being better off than a lot of people that I knew that went straight to state schools because I was focused. I was doing, class availability was open. I could take my courses and not have to worry about anything. I transferred from Mission to SJSU within 2 years, and I graduated from SJSU in 4 years with a major in political science and a minor in legal studies. Now, I'll get to some challenges that I had as we further move on into the career path, but that's basically just kind of what my path was, and I highly recommend anybody that's graduating from high school now, if you're not set on a school, then go to community college. There is nothing wrong with going to community college, and it was life-changing for me. So during my undergrad, I actually was prepping for law school, so I took an LSAT prep class with a few of my classmates. I took the LSAT the first time and actually scored a 164. So if you guys aren't familiar with LSAT grading, 170, 180, you're looking at any Ivy League if you score within any of that range. 160, 170, you're still looking at pretty good schools with a decent reputation, but you have a higher chance of getting scholarships. Anything below like 159 to 155, you have a chance, but it's not as great for scholarships. And as you all know, law school is very, very expensive. So I scored a 164, and I decided after college to take a year off and just kind of focus on work and saving, because I did graduate from my undergrad debt free. Thank you. And I am hoping that I will not graduate from my master's program with debt as well. So I'm really, really focusing on that. However, I took the LSAT again after I took another course because I wanted to do a refresher when I was applying, and there was a lot of transitions in my life. And I actually scored lower than I did the first time. So when I submitted my application, I used the test score that I got from that test. So they saw that I had a drop down in my score. So I scored a 159, which isn't terrible, but it's also not great. But really, I had a huge struggle with my personal statement, and it asked, why would you want to go to law school? And I always felt like I had everything planned out, from high school to, getting married and things like that. And it was a time where things were just completely changing, and I had no sense of direction and no sense of control on what was going to happen next. And I really just struggled. And I struggled with this personal statement. And the only thing I could think of was, well, I just wanted to make a lot of money. And to me, that wasn't enough for me to go to law school. That was not the determining factor for me. And I ended up applying because I did the work for it. I applied to Santa Clara and then as well San Francisco part-time law program. Well, I got into San Francisco, but they did change their program where they weren't doing evening classes and only were doing daytime classes, and I still wanted to work full-time, so that was definitely out of the question. But Santa Clara was always kind of on my list. I actually took a course, like I sat in a course, just to kind of see how it was, and it was very eye-opening for me. I just realized that I don't think it was the right path for me. And I ended up getting rejected to Santa Clara, and that's when I kind of took a huge step back and reevaluated everything, and specifically the position I'm in and the benefits that I have, and I can utilize my skills to move forward within Stanford, and that's where I want to talk about career. So moving forward, I actually applied to Stanford with the knowledge that they do help their employees out after the first year with some tuition assistance. So when I applied, I actually didn't get in the first time, and my manager kind of reached out and was like, hey, I'm going to keep you on a list. If I have anything else open up, I will reach back out to you. So she did, and honestly, that was very, very discouraging. That was very discouraging because I was applying to very big companies and I just kept getting rejected. And I was working at the Santa Clara Chamber of Commerce. I started out there as an intern when I started Mission College, so back in 2013. I worked my way up. They had 4 of us and they only hired 1 of us on at the end of the year, and I loved it. It taught me a lot of different experiences, but towards the end it wasn't the right place for me. I couldn't really grow. The only place I could grow was being a CEO, and I didn't want to do that because I think the company itself had a lot of growing to do on its own, and I couldn't help it. But that being said, I wanted to just get my foot in the door and kind of figure it out. So I had no intent on getting a position so quickly as a permanent, basically what a float is for the Department of Medicine is you're a trained Stanford employee and you go to different divisions, because within our department there are 15 divisions. If someone goes on maternity leave or someone's sick for 6 weeks, or someone is taking a sabbatical, you're basically a person who's going to come in and make sure nothing is falling through the cracks. It's just a simultaneously put in, you work. So the person in my office, with the position I'm in now, was accepting another position. And I ended up helping in floating in, and it was always kind of phrased to me that I wasn't, I guess, qualified for the position. It was, in our meetings, Talia's going to be doing the job for now, but if you know anybody, please, send them their resume to me, things like that. And so I never really was interested in it. I did like my boss and my executive director, and I really liked what I was doing, but I never thought about applying. So they were interviewing and they found someone that they really liked, and I think they were going to offer her the position. And the next morning, my boss came to me and he was like, I like her, but I like you more. Why haven't you applied? And that's when I was kind of like, okay, this world-renowned doctor is telling you, you're doing an amazing job. Why haven't you taken the position? I really want to keep you here. So I got to sit down with him and kind of explain to him the whole situation, and he was so supportive, and my executive director was so supportive. And I'm just so thankful and blessed to have them in my life. They are amazing mentors. Same with my manager, same with my DFA. They have been so great and so helpful along this process, and I cannot thank them enough. So really taking the position and reevaluating, I knew I wanted to go to grad school, and I wanted to do something that was going to be open-ended and allowed me to have many opportunities as I could. So Kathy and Sanu are two of my people that I work closely with, and they both have MBAs. One's a DFA and one's our executive director. And I think their jobs are completely different, but they still have the same title. And that's really kind of what, drew me to MBA. And I just think that I have so many amazing connections and opportunities to utilize my skills. And that's why I applied. So now we're gonna get into the fun stuff, guys. I applied, and as you all know, grades and things like that were never really top priority, and I always had to motivate myself from within. And I definitely slipped up during my upper division once I transferred to San Jose State. I think it was also the fact that I was taking more courses geared towards law, and that's kind of when I started losing a little bit of interest in it, and I wasn't as passionate about it. And also too, as well, I was also caring for somebody else and wanting their success to be just as big as mine, and I had to deal with a lot of different emotional roller coasters up and down, and I had a lot of pressure, not just from myself, but from his family, to really help him succeed. And I did not see it at the time, and I did not realize it until I received an email from my MBA director asking about my GPA. I just didn't focus on me, and I was so disappointed in myself. I basically had a mental breakdown with both of my best friends, and I was so angry. I was so angry because I allowed somebody else to affect my success. And this is where I want to get into how I'm going to emphasize this. Basically, because I had a GPA of a 2.7 in my upper division, the requirements for the program was a 3.0. My overall GPA with my mission college was a 3.1. So I figured, okay, well, I'm qualified. And the director emailed me back and asked me, are you sure you want to waive the GRE? Because of the COVID pandemic, they waived the GRE. And I said, yes, of course. I have 5 years of experience. And she just wanted to reconfirm because my GPA was on the lower scale. So I really started freaking out. I had, no idea what I was going to expect, and I honestly did not think I was going to get in. And during my mental breakdown, I really had to sit and reevaluate my situation. And it really made me think that there are so many people that are in similar situations. There are so many people that are dealing with, being a stable support for someone. There are so many people that are putting others before themselves. And I just want to come on and reiterate the fact that please take care of yourself. Please, please, please take care of yourself. And, everything that I did back then doesn't matter because, I guess it does and I guess it doesn't. I think it was a very big learning lesson for me and something that kind of just lit a fire under my ass now because I got it. And I was on the phone, I was on a Zoom call with my best friends, and I read the email, and you have no idea. I freaked out. I was crying for about 40 minutes, like full on ugly cry, because I thought I wasn't going to get in. I thought I had zero chance. And it's just so amazing that I did get in. And that thank you to all of my friends and my family and all the prayers and the support that I have from everyone, because I don't think I would have gotten in if I didn't have that support and I didn't have those prayers. And I'm not coming on here to be a, you should believe in God, things like that. I grew up in a very religious household. My grandmother is very Catholic. And yes, religion has always been a part of our life, but I think as I grew up, I didn't have a sense of connection to it. And, with this crazy time and like my mental breakdown, I really prayed. I really did. And I am not going to let my second chance be a disappointment. I have a whole new sense of fuel and passion and fire, and I'm ready to kick this MBA Asses program. I will come out on top, and you best believe that it's going to be just for me, and I'm going to excel and pursue everything that I want and more. I did like my boss and my executive director, and I really liked what I was doing, but I never thought about applying. So they were interviewing and they found someone that they really liked, and I think they were going to offer her the position. And the next morning, my boss came to me and he was like, I like her, but I like you more. Why haven't you applied? And that's when I was kind of like, okay, this world-renowned doctor is telling you, you're doing an amazing job. Why haven't you taken the position? I really want to keep you here. So I got to sit down with him and kind of explain to him the whole situation, and he was so supportive, and my executive director was so supportive. And I'm just so thankful and blessed to have them in my life. They are amazing mentors. Same with my manager, same with my DFA. They have been so great and so helpful along this process. And I cannot thank them enough. So really taking the position and reevaluating. I knew I wanted to go to grad school, and I wanted to do something that was going to be open-ended and allowed me to have many opportunities as I could. So Kathy and Sanu are two of my people that I work closely with, and they both have MBAs. One's a DFA and one's our executive director. And I think their jobs are completely different, but they still have the same title. And that's really kind of what, drew me to MBA. And I just think that I have so many amazing connections and opportunities to utilize my skills. And that's why I applied. So really what I want this video to be is, of course, what I'm always harping on is self-care. Take care of you. Do things for you. And I know that I'm a very big person, very big hearted person, and I care a lot about the others that I love. And I'm learning that it is still okay to be that person, but it's also okay to be selfish a little bit. It's also okay to realize that you need to do things for you. And and it took a lot out of me to really figure that out. And what I just want to emphasize as well is that different paths can be taken. Would I have looked back 5 years ago and said, oh yeah, I'm going to be in the MBA program for professionals? No, I would have been said, oh, I would have been almost done with my law school degree and like, you know, almost getting to be a practicing lawyer. Like, I would have thought that 5 years ago. I am where I am because a lot of, honestly, interpersonal connection and really figuring out what I want, and also realizing that there are different paths and it's okay to change. And I feel like a lot of the times that kids grow up, they have this, you know, you're gonna do well in school, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna graduate, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And I'm thankful that I didn't have that, and I'm thankful that my mom has always been very supportive of anything that I do. She's always said, you know, from my mouth to God's ears, that everything I say I will do, I'll do. And I think that's very much something that I follow by. And I just want to say thank you as always, guys, for listening to me. I am so passionate about the things that I'm going to be doing, and I cannot wait to see what the next chapter holds. And I am so ready to take on everything and more, and I'm ready. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I definitely will keep you, you know, in tune with all of the goodness and the journey that takes me. Always, please, please, please take care of yourself and know that paths are able to change. Please reach out to me, like, subscribe, anything. If you are having any questions about MBAs, have any questions about law school, I'm pretty well versed on a lot of it. Even, you know, my younger people, if you have questions about college, community college, I am more than welcome to be a knowledgeable resource. So again, just thank you guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of quarantine.